Well, good evening, everybody. It looks like we're on.
Yes.
We're on. We're live. Good evening, everybody. Hey, man, good to be talking with you tonight. And Bren, I got to say something. You're a rock star, man. I'm telling you. No, every time if I just flip on like Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, I mean, how many blabs have you been on today? Like 7 or something, or what?
Yeah, well, actually participated a couple actually. Yeah, it's
That's
you
just
know,
great.
BLAB is kind of cool. You can have that going in the background, and
Yeah.
I've connected with some pretty cool people that are really. I'm learning so much from them about the technology and whatnot, and that
Yeah.
they grow peppers.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
right?
I tell you, that's one of my favorite things to grow. Actually, tomatoes are probably number one. And I grow a lot of stuff, but tomatoes and peppers, man.
Yeah.
Mm,
So,
good.
thanks for joining us. We have a couple people in here.
Okay, good.
Yes, actually, so what's going on right now is we are live and it's being recorded. And after the presentation, you can click on the same link and be able to watch the presentation again. And then also I upload it onto YouTube, so you can catch it over there. So no worries if your internet fails or whatever, we'll be
You'll be able
there.
to come back and check it out.
We'll be there. Yeah.
And maybe even share it too. I mean, share the love. I bet there's a lot of other people who would appreciate, the kind of things that we're talking about. Yeah. And I just have to assume people that are listening in are gardener type people, and we're special people, man. I'll tell you, we like
maybe,
the earth, we like the produce.
We should introduce each other just in case anybody's new out there and you don't know who we are. I'll let you go first, Scott.
All right. Well, I'm Scott. See, Scott Poirier. I'm actually from New Hampshire, where it has been cold the last couple of days. We actually we were 6 degrees this morning, and the weather people really like to make you feel more miserable than what you're already feeling when then they give you the wind chill factor at -8. So I was like, okay,
wow,
-8 with the wind.
Really?
So, yeah.
Yikes. Okay, so
who are you?
I'm Bren. You can find me, well, all over the place, I guess.
You are.
I mean, I love it. I love connecting with everybody. I love people. I love talking about things I'm passionate about, which gardening, food, meeting people. And you can find out more about me at brenhaas.com. And then Scott, share your webpage because it's pretty cool.
Yep. The website is gottagrowit.com. So that's GOTTA, gottagrowit.com.
I love it.
And then if you go there, you'll see all my social media stuff. So Facebook and Twitter and things like that, YouTube.
Right.
I do a lot of videos and things like that. And I get a little excited from time to time with my garden. I'm passionate about growing and sharing. And like you, I love people too. And I love to just share whatever it is I know, or just, share with what other people are doing with gardening as well. And it's good stuff.
Right.
Good stuff.
So if you happen to be watching us live and you're able to connect on the screen here on BLAB, it'd be great if you could hit the tweet button, invite people over. It's a great way for you to connect with others and us, and we can share more about gardening together. So just hit that tweet button, and that would be great. Plus, it's kind of a cool little GIF image that comes up on your Twitter when you tweet that. Did you see the last one? It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I think there's one on here right now, right? That says "Tell a little bird."
Right.
Well, that's a little gift right there, right?
Yeah. Well, that in the chat section there, I'm just sharing a little graphic there to explain how, just to promote it. But actually, over on Twitter, when you tweet this out, it's kind of cute. It does like a little screen grab GIF of me and you, or whoever's in the seat there. And it's a lot of fun. So I'm curious, Lopta, is that how you would say that? Lopta? His Twitter name?
Lopta is saying morning. So Lopta is far, far away from us, evidently.
Yeah, true. So I'm just curious, if you garden, let us know. That's cool. Yeah. It's always morning somewhere. So, true.
I guess it is, right? Yeah, it'll be morning here in about 3 hours.
What?
So Yeah. So I got to tell you, you and I are passionate people right now about what we're doing here, what we've done all fall long, and now well into the winter.
Right.
And looks like it's going to continue. I think right up until spring, where we can start doing some early stuff to get our spring gardens going, and even to get our stuff going for our regular summer gardening. And we're excited. We're excited to share the stuff that we've been doing.
It's very cool. So we were communicating last night, and I got cold feet. I got really scared. And I probably shouldn't. I mean, judging by the report that you gave me, that I hope you will share what happened in your high tunnel, I may have been okay, but I could put heat in there. And, my husband, he worked all weekend to put a radiant heater in there. It's not very cost efficient. But we figure we'll eventually move it into the shop because we'd like to get probably a gas heater in there or something more efficient if we even need it. I mean, because tell me how low you guys were last night and what you saw in the tunnel, right?
I can tell you what the outside temperature was. I don't know what the temperature inside the high tunnel. Now, we're both growing in two different kinds of growing spaces, although they're both very effective. I think part of what really makes it effective is the skin that we're using that's on the dome and that's on the high tunnel that's called SolaWrap, which really, the stuff is just fantastic. But what I was in this morning was a high tunnel. So it's a 20 by 20 foot high tunnel. It's 10 feet high. So there's a lot of good space in there. There's a lot of space, the air that's in there that can heat up with that SolaWrap wrapped around this thing as well. But our temperatures dropped last night to 6 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I'm always watching the weather because I'm a garden type person anyway. Even in the off season, of course, I get to grow now in the off season as well. So I'm even paying attention that much more. But 6 degrees last night, it was windy. And of course, there's always going to be little leaks of air. They're going to want to sneak in a dome or a high tunnel anyway.
Sure.
So it was pretty cold this morning when I went into, I say this morning, it was mid-morning, so the sun had already come up. And we did have a pretty sunny day. But the sun had just begun to hit just one end of that high tunnel. So it's not like the sun was hitting the whole thing.
Right.
It easily was mid-40s in there. I think that there's a reason why, though, too. One of the things that we've done inside the tunnel is we have, and if you go over to, my website or in particular to my Facebook, you can see some pictures of it as well. We have 6 55-gallon drums that we've wrapped in plastic. Yours looks a little neater. It looks like you painted yours, Bren. Is that right?
I did. I painted mine.
Yeah.
Well, because I figured the darker color, right? The darker color.
Yeah, so the black's going to pull in that radiant heat from the sun.
Okay.
Is what it's going to do. And so anyway, so we have 6 55-gallon drums that are on the north wall. And we're in a good situation where we can really position the tunnel for it to pick up that southern sun. So it really does heat it up pretty nicely during the day as long as we have sun. But anyway, so that sun's coming in on the south wall. Well, it's coming straight in through the south wall and hitting those drums on the back north wall. And so they're staying, fairly warm. Now, we're not talking 120 degrees, but they're warm compared to an outside temperature of 6 degrees.
Sure.
And we also have raised beds that are in there, too, that will hold heat as they heat up during the day. And so when it gets cold in there, there's enough radiant heat coming off of those drums and coming out of the soil that it's enough to keep things going. I would suspect that I bet you 8 feet up, I bet it's below 32 in there, but we don't have plants that are 6 or 8 feet high. So things are close enough to the soil. We're doing arugula. Okay. I always have to say this, arugula for the 4 people on the planet that like it. We're doing kale, which of course you can grow kale almost anywhere, which is good. It's nutritious stuff and it's good.
Right.
We're growing different varieties of leaf lettuce. We have Swiss chard. So we got some good greens that are in there that are growing and they're doing well. So passive heat is what is helping us.
Right. So so basically, I mean, you just, do you think things that would have been in a container off of the ground wouldn't have fared so well last night?
Yeah, so again, I think it's a combination of both. I'm glad that we have those drums in there because they are giving enough radiant heat. There's enough coming off of those barrels when that cold air comes in to help. But I think that definitely planting in the raised bed, I think, is going to go a lot longer. That soil can go a lot longer. Now, I can tell you this, that with the dome that Clint and I are growing in, which is a bigger dome than what you have, that soil in there never freezes. It just doesn't freeze. Clint's had that. I think he may be on his 4th year, and it's never frozen. Wow. Now, again, the air above it, depending on how high up you go, it's going to freeze, but we don't have anything that's that high. We're doing basically greens. We've gotten away with some broccoli. Now, you're not going to get the broccoli heads that you would get, say, in June. But, hey, you know what? Some broccoli heads are better than none.
Exactly.
And so, you know, and I got to show you this. Look at this. This is from, you got to check out the taproot on this thing.
Holy cow.
I want to eat this thing and I want it to wait because I want to show people this is actually coming out of the dome. Let me get it right in front of the camera here.
Oh my
That is
word.
Organic beet. I actually did a video where I pull it out of the soil bed that we're in on that thing.
It's like a dandelion root. The root on that thing's like dandelion.
A root. What are you from, Ohio?
Oh, sorry.
What's a root?
Root.
And look at this. I got a canning jar, but I still have chocolate and cashews, but we didn't grow that in anything. But no, but seriously, is that impressive or what? So I just picked this 2 days ago. We have a whole bed of these beets. We planted them by seed in October. And there's not a better beet than a beet that grows with a little bit of cool temperatures. They're, I mean, incredibly sweet.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
I know that you heated your dome. I don't think that that's like, you know, big no-no, like, oh, you should never do that.
I know.
You have a little bit of a smaller dome.
Yeah, it would have been fun to see, but I just wasn't willing to take that gamble. And it probably would have been, well, let's just put it this way. Years ago, like I was young once.
Once when I was a young man.
I tagged along once with my husband to the Bay Area, and they actually, they had a show over in Vegas. So we actually drove through the desert one night to Vegas, and we stayed there. We were there more than 24 hours for this technology show that was going on. But I had time. We could easily have played the slots or whatever you call it. And you know what I did? I looked at the pretty lights and the cactus.
That's probably what I would have done. I would have been out there checking out the cactus. Like, wow,
it's cool.
I'd like to grow one of those in New Hampshire.
I know, but I just, I just was too scared. And, I almost wonder if my containers wouldn't have done so well, because I've got quite a few that I've got some vertical gardening going on. I just, but that's okay.
I got to tell you what, one other thing that's growing in the dome right now, we actually have sweet snap peas. Okay. I mean, they have flowered. We actually have peas. We got some peas that are yay big, maybe 1.5 inches long right now. They're growing slow because it is cool, but it's not damaging cold. And we're actually, growing sweet snap peas.
Mine are up like that too. I've got a pretty big container. It's like, it's probably 36 inches off the ground, and they're getting like the little wispy things coming out of them. I don't know if that's getting ready to flower or it just keeps going. It's like a vine, right? Yeah. I don't know.
So, what's really cool with that SolaWrap, because of what it's doing to light. Yeah. Because there's really not, I mean, the thing that's really messing with my brain, I mean, it kind of twisted into a pretzel here, because I'm like, how are these peas growing with the limited sunlight that we have? And I'm telling you, it's that SolaWrap. It's doing weird things to the light when it comes in. It's bending the light. It's dispersing the light.
For sure.
I think that's what's helping it as well. So it's really crazy stuff.
Before I get too far ahead, we did have a question from Lopta. I think that's his name. If I build a cold frame, what are good things to start in it? So basically what you said, what you started, leafy greens, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, at some point, the cold frame is going to give up the ghost here when it gets too cold. You're not going to be able to hold in as much heat in a regular cold frame. But you can definitely extend your season. What we're doing with the technology that we have is we're growing year round.
Sure.
With it, and that's what's just exciting. It's fascinating.
That kind of confuses me a little bit. So you're saying the tunnel, but your tunnel, I mean, you probably will be able to do this year round with passive heat, right? And that SolaWrap, the SolaWrap on that. Okay.
Now there's always a threat. I mean, if we had, and we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, as we get deeper into winter, if we had 4 or 5 days where it's just sub-zero, we don't have any sun. I mean, at some point, you may have some of those excruciating weeks that, you may lose some stuff, but I think we can still keep the soil from freezing. And as you know, kale is going to be pretty hardy. Arugula is pretty hardy too. It hangs in there. The leaf lettuce can go either way. So, it can bounce back sometimes. So we may bump into some difficult days, but I think overall we're still going to pull produce out year round out of that thing.
Very cool. I just noticed Garden Wise. Arlena's here. Hey, Arlena. Thanks for joining us. She's out in Wisconsin, and she's a fellow gardener.
Good cold place, Wisconsin.
Yeah. She loves miniature gardening, and she does lots of vegetable gardening, organic, and chickens. Just chickens.
Chickens. I love chickens, man. I tell you, Clint's got chickens running all over the place. Every time I see those chickens, I'm like, I always have to say it like, hello, ladies. Good to see you, and they just, they're great. They're very social critters.
And thanks for the love, too. I like it when we get the little hand claps or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Oh, so like this here. Let's see. So if I go like that, all right. There we go. That's how that works.
Nice. Unfortunately, Clint couldn't be with us tonight. He's traveling and stuff like that. So
he is. But the exciting thing that we've been involved in, the three of us, in working with the high tunnel and the dome, and of course we went out to your place out in October and built that dome together, and you've done just incredible, amazing things with it. But we've been working pretty diligently and putting together a series. It's basically a DVD is what we've put together, teaching people. I mean, this is a fully comprehensive. Maybe that's redundant to say that, fully and comprehensive. This is a comprehensive, step-by-step how-to video on how to build a high tunnel. We're not talking something that'll fall down in 6 months, that you can just extend your season a little bit. This is like professional grade high tunnel, and the structure will just last for years and years and years, including the dome as well. So we did a step-by-step on the dome. And so we're going to be releasing, we're going to have a launch date that we're going to mention here probably in the next few days. And we're going to be releasing this DVD. And we're so excited about it because we think it's going to put this technology, the ability to actually have the structure like what you have, Bren, which easily, if you hired someone to come in and to put that structure in, it's over 10 grand. And we've got it. We've tweaked it out that if we don't consider the covering, because the covering cost can be rather, small, depending on what you're looking to do, or even more significant if you were to use the savings that you would have on, say, putting like SolaWrap on your dome or on the high tunnel. It would certainly be more of a price there. But just the structure itself, to build it, a dome, 20-foot dome, it's under $400. And it's just insane that that it's really not that much money if you know what you're doing. We know what we're doing. That's why we did the DVD, and we want to get it in the hands of people. And we're excited about that. Yeah. We want to share that information.
I shared my GIF again. You're talking about the dome. Oh, there's my 20-foot dome there back in October when we were having fun putting that thing together. It was super fun.
Yeah, it really was. And it was a good time. It was a good time. And you fed us pretty good, man. I'll tell you. We ate well.
I love cooking.
Really, I was like, I think I gained 4 pounds in 4 days. I'm serious. I'm like, oh my goodness, I did more push-ups when I got home.
Very good.
But it was good.
Fun. So if anybody has a question, you're welcome to just follow directions there on the left. You just put the little / and Q and ask away. We're happy to.
I see your GIF over here doing that. Type it below. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I got to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, I'd like to make more GIFs. I'm kind of working on that. Apparently, you can use like their stock photos that you can use. But, you know, there's so many different apps out there that you can actually make your own gifts. But you have to make sure they shrink the GIF down small, but that's like a whole nother blog post, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah. So let's talk about what's inside your dome and what you've done with your dome, because you do have some passive. You have some passive heat. Qualities in your dome, don't you? Why don't you talk about that a little bit and what you've done there? Because I think that would help people to kind of, imagine what it is that we're doing.
Yeah. Well, did you like the video I shared with you today?
It was great. I laughed out loud.
I was so excited in there. I got to use my portable hose, and I do have one running water in there, which in fact, I'll post some more pictures on Facebook after we're done here to show what it looked like in the dome today. Because it was just so exciting. I think I did a Periscope. Gosh, I've done so many live streams today. I don't remember.
Well, I know you did a Periscope yesterday, but I don't know if I saw it today.
Okay. I think I did. But anyways, I was just so excited, and I shot that quick little video because it's like, I'm feeling your energy. You know how excited you are with your peppers? It's like, oh my gosh, I can water. I haven't watered. I haven't had to water since before Christmas. I mean, because
same here. There's enough moisture inside this thing that it's in some sense it's self-watering. Obviously, at some point you really got to get it in there again. Yeah. But it lasts a long time.
Yeah. But it was just so exciting. And then, I had to take my winter coat off because, it's 26 degrees. About 10 o'clock when I had went out to the dome, and I get in there, and the larger thermometer read 78 degrees. So
really,
it was beautiful and sunny. Yeah. It's like I really wanted to take my jacket off.
But, what was your outside temperature today?
Well, when I was in the dome shooting the video, sorry about that. It was around 26 degrees. So
okay,
but it was full sun.
We got into the 20s today too. When I went to the high tunnel, now our low this morning was 6, like I said, and it was windy. Wind chill was -8. Yeah. I mean, it was just like crazy, right?
Right.
So when I went into the tunnel, it was like maybe 17 degrees when I went in there. But the afternoon, it got up to the maybe 24 to 26 degrees.
Okay.
So I bet you we hit 65 plus in there. The sun was strong today, so it was really good.
Okay. So Arlena was curious, where are you exactly? Tell us what your hardiness zone is too, if you could.
You mean me?
Yes. Sorry.
So it's 5B. I'm in southern New Hampshire, and so it gets. We're coming into winter. I mean, this is it. Like the temperatures we had that we've had the last couple of days. So, yep. So 5B. It's called. And I think you're in the same zone, right?
I am. Yep. 5B in Ohio. And I don't know. Have you glanced ahead to look at what the forecast looks like?
Yeah, so the last few days it's been going back and forth, but now it looks like we got a warmer weekend than what we thought. We thought we were going to get hit with snow, snow and some freezing rain this weekend, but now they're saying Sunday could even be 50.
Yeah, I'm just.
And I'll tell you, I don't know if it's cloudy and 50, but if it's sunny and 50, it'll be 75, 80 degrees in that high tunnel.
I know.
I mean, it's just which will warm up those barrels, which is just great. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, it looks like we've got partly sunny heading into the 50s, and the nights, well, our nights are kind of low. Wednesday and Thursday, it's going to be like 25 and 29. I feel like a weather person. I need a map.
Yeah.
That cool front coming through. No, actually, it's a nice little warm front. You have to do the hand thing.
We got this cold front coming through right by the chocolate sign behind my head, right there. Speaking about chocolate, did I show you that chocolate? I put chocolate in a canning jar so I can feel better about maybe it's healthy. It's actually dark chocolate, though, with cashews.
I've actually been pretty good with my snacking. I took one of those mason jars and a lot of that kale I have out in the greenhouse or the dome. And I made like these yummy little smoothies with mango and banana and a little bit of kale and spinach.
Sounds
and
great.
Your coconut water. And
I love coconut water. Yes.
Just mix that up in your blender, put it in your fridge, and when you want to grab that chocolate, go get that smoothie. Right?
There you go.
It's actually
that's great. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great.
Whatever. It's healthy.
So it looks like Green Blessings is saying a couple of things here. So saying it was 20 here today, but in my little greenhouse it was 45. Well, that's great.
That's great.
That's great. How what kind of greenhouse do you have? Green Blessings. Good name, by the way. Green Blessings.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You haven't met her yet, have you? She's
I don't think I have.
She's very active at garden shows, and I think she's on TV even out there in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So
I'll have to go look on Twitter here and see her profile.
Just click on
so
that.
You're in zone. Looks like zone. I'm assuming she means zone 4, 4, and 5. Yeah. Daughter has a high tunnel, 14 feet high. Wow.
Nice.
100 feet long.
Nice.
It must be in the DNA then, huh? To go ahead and grow 24 feet wide. That's fantastic. Yeah. The high tunnel that I'm growing in right now is a 20 by 20, and then it's 10 feet high.
Nice.
And it's actually with a giving garden that I help manage in the growing season. So now we've been able to extend that, and then so it's pretty good.
Yeah, I want to do a little shout out. I see Douglas has joined us, and he's from North Carolina State University. So it looks like he's in ag, which is awesome. That'd be great to talk to you sometime. It's always awesome to learn.
Good to have you, Doug.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
So have you had anybody ask you why you wanted to grow in a tunnel?
I don't know if I've had anyone just directly. I think it seems like most people get it. You know, they're like, wow, they think I'm pretty lucky that I get to do it. I think people are intrigued by it.
Yeah.
I know that, my biggest following right now is on Facebook. I've got a pretty good fan base there. And the interest on the dome and on the high tunnel it's been humbling. All right. Yeah. I put a video out a couple of days ago talking about, as I was saying earlier, we got this DVD that we're still getting the final touches on. So we're not going to mention the launch date until we absolutely have it all right where we need to be so that we have the right date when we say that we're going to do this. Mm-hmm. I had 6,400 views on this video.
Wow.
I think people are intrigued by it. They're excited by it. I think a lot of people dream about having a high tunnel or a dome. And again, we're talking like this is top quality. Bren, you know what you got. This thing is made with 2x4s. This is solid. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
Your camper will blow away out of your driveway before that dome does anything. Okay. And you've got a big camper in your driveway. So,
it's in the barn now. So,
what's that again?
It's in the barn now.
Oh, it's in the barn.
Yeah.
Is it ill? You're trying to keep it warm?
No, yeah, we don't usually keep a camper scent now, but
okay.
You could do
that.
Okay.
That makes
anyways.
That makes sense.
So I actually had a garden writer ask me yesterday, and I went to my first Hardy Plant Society meeting up in Michigan last night. It was pretty cool, mixing with very smart people. They love their plants. They know like all the technical stuff, right? So my head was just blowing up. But anyhow,
it's good to have those people around us, and
I love it.
I'm sure they blow me away too.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So, but I had one of the garden writers ask me, well, you already have a 10 by 12 greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you want a dome? And it's like, the first year I grew in that, the 10 by 12, I knew I filled it up, I wanted more space. And then learning from the other growers, it actually, like the design of the dome, it actually holds in heat better having something bigger like that. Yeah. So it's wow.
Yeah, I mean it's better technology.
Yeah.
The value of what we've done with the dome that we're able to build at your place. I mean, and you just got state of the art cover on that thing with that SolaWrap. Mm-hmm. The value of the SolaWrap is not only do you get to grow better because of what that SolaWrap does with light and certainly with heat. Right. Actually, even in the summer, even when it's really hot, it has a way of moderating that heat so it's not as hot as it could be. Let's put it that way. So it's a better growing system with that as well. But it's also the longevity of this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, anyone that has, who was it? Lopta was telling us about her daughter that has this huge high tunnel. Imagine if you have to pull that wrap off of there every 3 or 4 years. And what happens is every year that goes by, less and less light is able to penetrate through that plastic.
Exactly.
That's a huge job to have to go in there and do that. Yeah. Clint, who really introduced me to the SolaWrap, Clint's the guru on the SolaWrap. Mm-hmm. This stuff's manufactured in Germany, and he's been out in Germany. He went to the company, checked the stuff out. He examined domes and high tunnels out there that are using the SolaWrap as much as 20 to 25 years, and the stuff is still intact and still working. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. That's, you know, I actually mentioned that last night to a couple, because a few of the people that attend this event are actually IGC, independent garden owners. So they grow in the big houses, and, you know, that you just mentioned replacing that plastic and that cover, and they're, you could just see it on their face.
Oh yeah. And I'll tell you what a lot of people do. They don't do it. Mm-hmm. And what happens is every year their ability to really grow quality and abundantly it deteriorates year after year, because it is a big job, you know, to pull that off.
Right. Yep. So Douglas shared some great links with us. I can't wait to look at that after this event. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I see this here. It's an EDU site. I bet there's some good stuff there. Yeah.
And then let's see, Green Blessing. My baby greenhouse is an 8 by 8 by 12. I use it to start seedlings. Now I have my meat birds in it. Stays warm because of the birds. Oh, that's very cool. So
that is really good. Yeah.
Are the birdies, the chickens in there with the plants, or just the birds in there now? Right?
That'd be good to find out. I'm guessing if there were plants in there, I know chickens will
just the birds.
Will eat about anything.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, I had rabbits kind of attached to, you know, like I bring a rabbit with me into my little greenhouse periodically. I mean, you know, you don't want to sit the rabbit like.
I got to tell you something. Speaking about rabbits, listen, we last week, so it was a week ago today, we had the storm that came in that was underrated. They were like, yeah, you know, and the next day it's going to melt, this and that. We had all this freezing rain, pelleted freezing rain, some snow. And we got like 3 inches, and it's still out there. It's solid. It's like an iceberg, okay? So while the stuff was still soft, I'm looking at these tracks by my peach tree on the side of my house, and I'm like, I have never seen a rabbit out here, ever. And I've been on this property now going on 14 years. I've never seen a rabbit. There are these rabbit tracks everywhere. I'm like, ooh. I know rabbits like my garden about as much as I do. So I have to keep an eye on that, I guess.
You need to be careful.
My garden, I've got it pretty protected. So, I mean, I don't really lose a lot of stuff, but this was a revelation to me to go, oh, I got rabbits out
Watch
there.
those trees, because a couple of years ago here in Ohio, when we had that deep freeze and the snow was high and it was frozen, you know, those critters were looking for some food. And my brother, he lost quite a few of his trees. They ate everything, conifers, everything.
Really? Yeah. Huh.
Maybe you could spray a little like liquid fence or some organic thing on it to keep them away. But I'd watch it, especially your peach trees, right?
I will be watching, and I have a very productive, a lovely peach tree that treats us very well.
Very cool.
In fact, I still have peaches in some canning jars that I can my peaches every year. Unbelievable. There's nothing better than opening up a can of your peaches that you can, say in February. And when I open it, you know what I smell when I open up my jar in February? I smell the month of August. It smells awesome.
It's like the other day when I went in the dome in the new year, I hadn't spent much time in there after we got a little bit of flooding in there. And it's like, it was just hard to describe the smell. It was just like, it's so earthy. I mean, it was awesome, you know, because everything in there is natural. I mean, it's, you know, so Douglas asked a question, are your domes prefab?
So no, they're not. Actually, we build them. So we don't travel and build them. We just know how to build them. And Clint's really Clint's the guy that's taught me. I mean, Clint's very, very good at building these things. His dad also builds them out in Alaska, some huge, like 40 foot domes that they're doing out in Alaska, and they're growing year round in Alaska with these things. So what we've done, Douglas, is that we've taken, because knowledge here knowledge can save you an awful lot of money when you really know what you're doing. And so what we've done is we've done this DVD. It's a step-by-step, and I mean almost anybody can do this. You have to have some sense of, maybe drawing a straight line. If you can draw a straight line, you can build these things. And so Clint and I together have put this video together. One for a high tunnel and then one for a dome. And for pennies on the dollar, I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were in the BLAB earlier, but we've got it worked out that on a 20-foot dome, if we're not counting the covering, because the covering cost can be all over the place. It really just depends on what you're looking for. Obviously, if you did the SolaWrap, it's going to be a higher price, but what you get for the SolaWrap is an incredible growing opportunity that you're not going to get with anything else. And then, of course, there's some cheaper materials that you can use too. So if we don't count that, and then we use recycled doors. I ended up getting a door for the high tunnel that I have from a friend who had it in their backyard. They were going to throw it out. They're like, I just have this old storm door, and that's what we used. But just for the material and putting this thing together, under $400 to build a 20-foot geodesic biodome. And if you hired someone to come in to do that, because it is somewhat repetitive work where you're cutting, these two different length 2x4s a particular way. Anyway, it would cost over 10 grand. Yeah. At the quality of structure that we have to have one of those built for you. And you can build one for under 400.
Don't you think, like if you're not really like a handy person with saws and things, which, I watch you guys, it was hilarious, but it was awesome. And we have video to prove it.
Clint's the funny guy. I'm just really slow and boring and, but,
yeah, right. We probably could have made it you probably could have had it done in half the time if you were a little more boring, Scott.
If I was a little more boring, right. If I could have gotten Clint to stop eating all that food you were making, we probably could have gotten some more work done.
But even if, because I know a couple of handy men around that, I could pay cheap if I couldn't put it together.
Right.
It's designed that somebody, so, if you're not very good with a saw, you could still have somebody put it together, right? Okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm a handyman. Okay. I can garden really, really well. That's where my strength is. And Clint's strength is that he can build things.
Yeah.
And of course, doing it with Clint and seeing, how this thing is done over time. I've picked up on it. I could, in following the DVD, as long as I really had a step-by-step,
yeah.
I could build that thing. I'd have to have someone with me because it would be hard to build that alone because you really do need some help, along the way.
Right.
Of the two structures, I think the easier one to build would be the high tunnel. Right. Now we've figured out that the price for the high tunnel, again, not counting the wrap, and working with a recycled door, you could get a high tunnel, a 20 by 20, 10 feet high tunnel. We're talking top quality. This thing is not going anywhere for years and years and years.
Yeah.
It's going to hold the snow load and all that.
Yeah.
We're thinking it's about, not thinking, we actually, we priced it out because we built it for about $750.
Right.
The quality of high tunnel that we're looking at, if you were to look anywhere to buy a kit, first of all, it would cost you a whole lot more if you hired someone to come in and do it. But if you bought the kit and then put it together and did it, it'd probably run you about $2,500.
Sure.
So it's just insane how much you can save, and you really can do it. Now, if you're someone that has absolutely zero ability to, assemble or build anything at all, then yeah, it's certainly going to be a challenge. But I think most people have some ability, and we walk you through it step by step. It's comprehensive. There are no assumptions made. We bring you all the way through it.
Right. So if you're just joining us right now, what Scott's talking about is a high tunnel, and then the dome that he's mentioning is actually a 20-foot. It's a 20-foot geodesic biodome. Now, mine sits on a knee wall. So did we ever measure the height? Like, how tall the height in there, or height? Ceiling height?
I think the height's either 10 or 12. I think it's 10 feet. I think you're 10 feet high. Do you think it's higher than that?
Yeah, but even on the knee wall?
I'm trying to remember.
Actually, I should ask my husband. He just put that radiant heater in.
Right.
Quite well.
It's either 10 or 12 feet. It wouldn't. I don't think it's higher than 12, but I'm almost certain it's 10. But
feels like the Taj Mahal, though. I mean, seriously, I can't touch it, but I'm only 5.5 feet. So
I remember that about you. Yeah, you're kind of 5.5 feet. Yeah,
be nice. So
no, I really am. I was being very nice, actually.
Okay, so Douglas had a great point. He said that it would be a great 4-H project, and even to take that a little further, that's a great idea. Man, that would be cool. Indeed. At our fairgrounds if they put up a dome like that. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Yeah. But anyhow, another thought is, like, in my area, we have trade schools for that. There's a trade school where the high school kids come, and they actually have a ag department or a horticulture department, and they also have construction. I mean, I know that they periodically will go and build things. You just have to submit it. So that'd be a great idea if you knew connections there, you could,
And there are a lot of schools. There are a lot of schools that I think would love the opportunity. First of all, you have, in some schools, you have departments or, classes where they're teaching kids how to build. Yeah. And there's a greenhouse opportunity here. So, I mean, there's I think a lot of interest in this. I think a lot of people would be, will have the opportunity to actually have something of this quality in their hands that they never dreamed that they could have.
Right.
I know that I wouldn't be able to throw 15 or 20 grand into a dome to put in my backyard. I mean, it's just out of price. You just look online and see other people doing it, going, "Oh, I wish I could have one." Yeah, you can. That's the. I mean, you really can. So
I want to thank. I want to thank Lopta. He's actually, I don't know if you're watching him in the chat. He's actually converting. He's converting feet and dimensions for us, which is awesome.
That's great.
At that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we also had another question. I don't think we answered. I scooted it up there. How many years would you expect the wrap to last? I guess we kind of covered that, but.
Yeah, so the listed warranty says 10 years. This is the manufacturer that's in Germany. Mm-hmm. But like I said, Clint actually went out to the company and saw how they manufacture it and all that stuff, and then was able to see. And then, this is out in Germany. It's certainly a cooler climate there as well. A lot of people are using this stuff, and they have domes and things like that. Right. And he was looking at domes where they were 20 and 25 years old with the SolaWrap on there.
Right.
Tremendous.
Very cool.
Good stuff. Oh, hey, so I know we got other people here. Did I show you? For those of you who came in later, look at I got to get it right here in front of the camera. Look at the taproot on that beet. I'm telling you, it's kind of getting late tonight. I can't cook it tonight, so I'm going to have to eat it tomorrow. I pulled this beet from the dome. This is a 35-foot dome that we're also growing in. We got a whole bed of these beets. Unbelievable. Telling you, just picked it 2 days ago.
So
can't wait to eat it.
It does look good. I've grown beets before. I roasted them. They were pretty good. I have to find more recipes on beets.
I'm open to all kinds of recipes. I'm a plain kind of. I just take them, boil them, and skin them after, and just eat them.
That sounds really good.
I'll eat them a lot of different ways too, with butter and whatever in recipes. But I just naturally like beets. Yep.
So I went ahead. If you're in the chat room, you can see there harvestpathway.com. If you want to click on that when the chat's over, maybe bookmark it. You can actually go to Clint's site. He has some great information on there about the SolaWrap. And then I also shared Scot's website at gottagrowit.com. And you've got an awesome ebook there to teach people how to grow vegetables.
Yes. Yeah. And some of it is a little bit of a step-by-step. Some of it's philosophical. I think some of it has some good humor in it. I think it's there's some good things to consider. And I'm just, I wrote it initially. I actually had it on Amazon and I was selling it. And then, I don't know, I just figured, it's good stuff to share. I'm just sharing it. It's available on my website, and you can do a free download.
Lots of fun.
All you got to do is just go to the website, and you'll see it. When you look on the website, you'll look to the left. Yeah. It says my free ebook. It's yours. Enjoy it. Let me say this one other thing. So there's a video for each chapter with moi, just kind of giving you a sense of, hey, this is what we're going to be looking at in this next chapter. So it's kind of video infused. And anyway, I had a lot of fun.
It's fun. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I learned so much. And of course, following you on Twitter and Facebook, I learn a lot from you that way as well. So we have quite a few people. I mean, we have a couple of people in here live. Can you share a little bit with us about yourself? Maybe in that comment section, if you could rate like from 1 to 5, 1 being you're kind of new to gardening and 5 being you've been doing it a pretty long time, like Scott.
So while they're thinking about that,
share that.
I just noticed that Green Blessings just said,
there we are.
What do you heat with? And so with the actually with both the high tunnel and the dome, we're going passive heat only. Yeah. And so with the high tunnel right now, we have 6 50-gallon drums that we have on the north wall. So, and the reason why we put it on the north wall, it's picking up that southern sun as it comes through the southern wall. Mm-hmm. It's hitting those barrels, and so it heats up that water. And like I said earlier in the BLAB, we were 6 degrees last night. That's Fahrenheit. And so we were -8 below with the wind chill. Yeah. By like 6 o'clock this morning, it was that cold. Yikes. And we were probably, well, when I finally made it into the high tunnel, it was mid-morning and it was in the 40s in there. So it works well. The dome is even better. This dome is bigger. And so it's creating more heat. And there are 3.5 foot beds that Clint was able to put in there. So they hold a lot of heat. The soil in that dome never freezes all winter long. And it's the reason why your greens can make it through the winter, even in a climate like we're in here in New Hampshire.
Right. And nothing beats that flavor. You know, I know you're not a big fan of kale, but I really wish you would try. Yes.
Oh, no. You're thinking about Clint. I love kale.
You like kale. Okay, that's right. You did say put him in the smoothie. Okay.
Yeah. Put him in the smoothie. And I like baby kale and salads and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So have you ever tried red Russian kale?
I'm growing it right now. I'm growing it in the dome right now. So you and I are growing the exact same kale. It's yummy and it's beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, I put a link to it on my website actually too at brenhaas.com. I went now. My plants, I was lucky enough, really good friends at the garden center actually donated some plants to me when they were following what we were doing on Facebook. And he gave me some great plants because, we started it kind of late to start, broccoli seeds in late October. Although the way we're going, I probably would have been fine, maybe, right? We planted broccoli seeds the beginning of October. Yeah. And we have broccoli heads right now. Now, again, they're not like June broccoli heads, June or July broccoli heads, but they're edible. They're there. They're small, but it's better than not having them. The plants themselves are impressive. I mean, the plants are huge. Yeah. So. In fact, cool. I show it on a video that I have on my Facebook with us. Well, it's the same video where I pull. Oh, look at the effort on that beet. I'm telling you, I'm just impressed, man. This is quite the beat that came out of that high tunnel. I'm waiting for you to break into your little song there.
Yes. It's all about the beach, No trouble. It's all about the beach. Anyway, yeah.
That's pretty good.
I sang it for half a day, man. It's all about the beats.
That's awesome.
So what do we got here? What do we got? Any other comments here on the side?
I don't quite understand Lopta's. Me throws his slide rule across the deck. Okay, I think I'm not sure what you're saying there, but that's awesome. If anybody has a question, please just go ahead and ask away. And, if not, you can find us on Twitter. And I'm looking forward to connecting. I think I've connected with most of you on, I followed you on BLAB hopefully here. And also I follow you on Twitter. So definitely continue the conversation after the BLAB too, right?
Yes, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, we're getting all the translation from Fahrenheit to Celsius from Lopta. Awesome. That's good to know.
Thank you.
It's all good. It's all good.
Very cool. So, wow.
Douglas, appreciate your comments along the way, and glad you checked us out tonight, and good connecting with you. I think we've already connected on either Twitter or Facebook. I think, and I think that's because of Bren. But anyway, but yes, it's good.
Very cool.
Good night. I appreciate everybody checking us out, and we're going to keep plugging along here. We're going to keep talking about the high tunnel and the dome. In the next few days, we're going to announce this release of the launch date. I should say we're going to announce the launch date for the new DVD. It's actually 2 separate DVDs that we have, and we're going to have some specials with that and all that stuff. But we'll share all that when that time comes.
Yeah.
But appreciate you all checking us out.
Yeah.
Did I mention this beet? Did you see that beet that came out of the dome? Oh my goodness! Look at the taproot on that. Yep. See, I'm just impressed with that. That's just incredible.
Follow me on Twitter tomorrow. I'll show you what I did with that broccoli today.
Oh, good. Yes.
BG_garden. And okay, I think we're good.
All right.
Thank you.
Everybody, thanks for checking us out.